My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And I know that you've read the title, but it's time for everyone's favorite episode!
Yay!
What we're watching, baby! If this is your first time with the What We're Watching, we basically are telling you what we're watching in the Asian entertainment sphere and if we like it. And where you can watch it too, if you would like to as well. Now, this is currently being filmed with the ongoing strike, and while I am aware there are some absolute bangers on some streaming services that are currently under strike negotiations with their various unions, we will not be talking about those because we refuse to talk about any dramas that are on struck platforms until the strike is over, as much as it actually pains us and me specifically as a person. But we will not be doing that.
It feels very much like we almost are wanting to do charades, but like we're not going to tell you. Like we will talk about it later, hopefully, when things are done.
Yeah. You know what?
Such a long episode. It's just like
I feel like we should do like an extra episode, like once the strike is over, to be like, all right, now we're going to tell you what we liked that was on struck services,
what we were watching,
we were.
A little extra.
What we're actually watching.
I had a real laugh this week. I started back at college and I'm reading this, handbook on management styles, and they used the top 10 management styles from Disney, and like the number one thing was like treat your employees with respect, and then number 10 was like behave ethically, and I was like, where exactly does like make them lose their houses fit into that management style?
Well, there's the thing is that they don't consider the writers employees. Yeah. They're all contractors. Like,
yeah,
we ain't playing
like
these
guests in our house. We're talking about our family.
Yeah, we ain't gonna be playing their games. So if you're like, wow, none of them are watching these super popular, easy to find shows. Yeah, we are. We are. Okay, we are. All right. We just can't tell you about it.
Or is there even a super popular difficult to find one? We're probably watching that too.
We are. Like, if there's one that you're like, wow, I wonder if they're watching this super great show that's not on any streaming service. Yeah, we are.
Or like, wow, this just seems like it's a show that like all of them would watch. We are watching it.
It is.
Have you ever thought, like, it's so weird that no one's watching it? It's probably because the Murder Line is watching it, and they're not talking about it online.
Yeah, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it.
Just can't talk about it.
Listen, we've been sworn by our own ethics. We've been stopped from anyway, but we still have been watching some non-struck bangers. So we're just gonna get into it. And I'm first, so I have a real quick question to ask all of y'all. Are you, like me, someone who really loves listening to other people's drama but never being part of the drama yourself, but you just love hearing about the messy lives of other people's drama that you have no bearing on your life?
Sometimes.
If this sounds like you're gonna love the show Only Friends, which is the most toxic friend group you've ever seen in your life, and I can not get enough of these absolute
and a lot of
toxic
people
gays.
online.
Yeah.
No, this show is
popular.
Wild. This is so out of left field from GMMTV. It's not even funny. So basically, we're presented with this group of very dysfunctional friends. One is a whore. He just sleeps around and is real douchey about it.
Parentheses, non-derogatory.
Positive. No, him sleeping around isn't the problem, but he's a problem.
So,
all right, then, him sleeping around, not an issue. Him being a piece of shit, kind of an issue. Then you've got their alcoholic friend, who's just an alcoholic. He's just a rich alcoholic who needs therapy. Then you've got the mean-spirited lesbian who's just there to talk shit. She's the best. And then you've got the one who seems like he's just a totally normal, nice guy, but you're like, if you're a totally normal, nice guy, why are these your friends?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
something's not adding up here.
Yeah, like the math ain't mathin'. So they're like doing this, like, they're in like business admin or tourism or something. They're whatever they're studying in school.
Doesn't matter.
Okay? It doesn't matter.
Engineering.
But it's not engineering. They have this like project where they were supposed to just do like a business plan, but they're like, what if we actually started a business? So they start like a hostel because their rich alcoholic friend just has an empty house that they can use, right? Because he's just a rich alcoholic whose dad doesn't love him. So then meanwhile they're like, oh, the man whore like breaks his phone and takes it to like an electronics shop that's run by this little guy who's definitely got a screw loose, who's like, hey, we sell like surveillance equipment, and also I went through your phone and left sexy photos of myself, and now we're gonna have sex now. Okay, that's weird.
That happened.
Then you've got this really kind like bootlegger who sings at the bar that they all go to, and like the alcoholic is like, you and me, we're gonna be friends. And this guy's like, I'm not sure I want you as a friend, but like the sexual chemistry, palpable. And then they're all trying to get their nice normal friend laid because he's still a virgin. And they're like, well, that's weird. And so he's like, I'm just waiting for the right guy. Like, I need a guy who like respects me. And anyway, in walks the biggest
fam or his friends are gonna get him that.
Yeah. So in walks the biggest red flag.
Oh no!
You've ever seen.
Human red flag,
of course.
Human red flag, who's like, he's like rich and handsome, but is known for just like fucking anybody. And so then he starts like this. He's like, I'm gonna like get with this guy who's like a virgin, and this guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, like we can kiss, but like I need you to I need to know you respect me. And he's like stringing this guy along, and it's working pretty well. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into more about this because it would just give too much. When I tell you the unhinged nature of this show is the shit that happens in this show that these people do. Like, if these were my friends, I would just move to another city and get a whole new group of friends.
I'm just gonna like walk away.
Bad.
It's like that Homer
terrible.
Simpson gif where he's just like slowly
just
like
walk into the bushes.
like,
Yeah. Like, but I can't stop watching it. And do you know what? I'm gonna say it. The best character is the alcoholic. He's the best one. He's the most redeemable character, is this unhinged, suicidal alcoholic. What is happening? This show is wild. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free. And the fact that this show is free is wild, because this level of entertainment should not be free. I should have to pay.
Does it feel
for this
like
show.
I understand it's not framed as a reality show, but the level of drama and just shenanigans sounds like just reality show.
Like, kind of, but it feels like it's like all of these characters, they're like heightened versions of people you've met.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, we all have a absolute hot mess in our lives. But imagine if this show, if everyone you knew was a hot mess in a new and fascinating way. And that is only Friends. But this show is spicy. I just want to warn people. I know it's on YouTube.
It doesn't sound not spicy.
Yeah, no, but I know, but you're like, oh, it's GMMTV on YouTube. Like, how spicy can it be? Pretty spicy. It's wild, okay? It's crazy. It is a crazy show. But so far I'm loving it. 6 episodes are out. By the time this episode comes out, 7 episodes will be out. And I cannot wait for every moment that I watch it. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, what are they good? Like, there was a scene in the episode 6 that was the last scene of the episode. I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but it is so unhinged that I just went, oh, like, and I had to like pause it and walk away for a second because I was like, yo.
Well,
yo.
And listener, you have to keep in mind the amount of dramas that Natalia has consumed in order to shock her at the end of an episode. That is a thing. Like, it's kind of difficult to attain that level of shock for her.
Like, whoa. Like, I was just like, oh, crazy. Anyway, I really like it. And if you don't mind, just dysfunctional sex fiends, this is the show for you.
You're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. It's very entertaining. I feel like I'm underselling the show, but know that I'm not. Like, it's better than it sounds from me telling you. Amanda, what's one thing you've been watching?
I have been watching the J-drama 1840. We talked about it a little bit on our What's Coming Up a couple months ago. And we had a little bit of a like, hang on, it's tagged romance 1840.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We were like, I don't know.
It's very clearly a mentorship relationship between this 18-year-old girl who finds out she's pregnant on the last day of high school, like on her graduation day, and this 40-year-old woman who runs art galleries and things, and this girl wants to be an art curator. So that's sort of how they wind up connecting, although they first connect a couple of days after the girl finds out she's pregnant. She's in a lot of pain, like doubled over on the sidewalk, and this woman is walking by and is like, hey kid, like, do you need help? Like, what's wrong? And she's clutching her belly and she's like, I think something's wrong with the baby. And she's like, you are a child. What do you mean you have a baby in there? But my best friend is an OBGYN and her clinic is around the corner and I have an appointment. You can have my appointment. Let's go. And on the same day that this girl has it confirmed for her, yes, you're pregnant. Yes, this 40-year-old woman finds out that she has severe endometriosis and she probably won't ever have children. She was sort of getting to that point where it's like, I'm ready now. Let's go. And her doctor friend's like, I'm not saying it can't happen, but you know, and the doctor friend in this is so good. Her conversations and stuff, the way it's written are excellent. Like when she's having the conversation with the teenager, there's zero judgment there. It's just 100%. This is your call. You get to choose. We don't do abortions here, but if you want that, I will give you a reference to an excellent clinic that will help you out. If you want to have the baby, we will take care of you and make sure everything goes well. When talking with her friend, she's like, yeah, this is a struggle, and I know you always wanted to have kids, and I'm not saying it won't happen, but right now we got to take care of you because there won't be any babies if we don't take care of you. So let's focus on you and getting you healthy and, you know, all this stuff. The teenage girl decides ultimately, I'm going to keep the baby. She doesn't have any, like, it's not one of those dramatic moments where she like feels the baby flutter and it's like, oh my, like, no, she just weighs the pros and cons and she decides ultimately this is the decision she wants for herself. There's a really good conversation between her and the older woman. They meet for they're both at the clinic for follow-up appointments, and she's decided abortion because her boyfriend, who initially was like, do you want to get married? Like, whatever you need, we will do that. And she's like, I don't know what I need right now. Like, I just found out today kind of thing. He's like, okay, we'll go away. We'll think. We'll do, you know, all this stuff. We'll come back together in 3 days. They come back together in 3 days. And he is in Canada now going to school. And his mom is like, but don't worry, sweetie. I'll take care of you.
Sure thing.
Got a new phone number, so you can't reach him.
Oh,
in Canada.
Yeah, right.
Oh no, a new email address too.
All in 3 days, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So downloaded all of his contacts though, because he's calling her best friend to see how she is. Call her. Her phone number didn't change. You jerk.
What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit.
So,
typical male.
So she decides initially, I guess I have to. Like, that's kind of where she gets to. I have to have an abortion because what am I going to do? I'm 18 and I want to go to college and I want to have a career. And then this lady sees her and she says, I just want to make sure that nothing, because on that first day when they were in the clinic, they had this conversation back and forth. And this lady says to her, I just want to make sure that nothing I said influenced you to make this decision. If it's your decision, that's cool. But I hope that nothing I said makes you feel like you need to make a choice that you're not comfortable with. And if this is your good, do you. Just I don't want to have that sense that I influenced you, whatever. And so the girl sort of walks away thinking about it more and thinking about, like, wait a minute, am I being influenced by my boyfriend's mother, by my fear of telling my father? What's my big, ultimately she comes to, I'm gonna keep the baby, but I'm gonna do as much school as I can beforehand. She gets a job at this like art cafe. It's like an art gallery and a cafe kind of thing. And it turns out that this older woman is the manager for, like, not the on-site manager, but she's like the head honcho who oversees all the cafes or whatever. And she's been given a mandate from her boss to find young art curator, like, wannabes and mentor somebody and bring them up. And so
well
yeah. And so at the point I'm at, like 2-3 episodes in, she's the younger one is actually living at the older woman's house now. She has a spare bedroom and she's like, you are not looking after yourself, because she gets a call from her best friend, the OBGYN, who says, you are working this girl too hard at your cafe. She is a student and she can't be working all these crazy hours. And she's like, she works like 10 hours a week at my cafe. What are you talking about? Well, the girl's got like 3 jobs that she's working, and she's, and she's like, no, you need to eat food and sleep and study. That should be your job. You're 18 and you're pregnant. Come live with me and I will make sure you're eating food and you don't have to pay bills. Like, I'm not, and I can mentor you in this, thing. So it's interesting. Her father has found out and he's not very happy about it. One might, but it's really good so far. Like, it's just, the conversations are really good.
It's interesting that it's a mentorship, like, in a very, like, job sense. Like, when you said a mentor relationship, I wasn't assuming that was, like, going to be a straight up job mentorship, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and the girl's mother died when she was 11, and her mother was an art teacher who taught her to love art and everything. So that's one of the things you see her sort of going through is, like, if I decide to have a baby and have to drop out of college and give up my dream of being an art curator, is it disrespectful to my mother's memory? But on the flip side, is it disrespectful to my mother's memory to say that giving up a career to have a child is wasteful when that's what my mother did, right? Like, for me. So she kind of goes through this, like, and, it's interesting.
So what's the tone of the show, though? Like, as far as, does it seem like a bittersweet thing so far? Does it seem very serious? Sad?
It's definitely like a melodrama. It's not a comedy or anything, but there's also, like, sort of sweet romances on the horizon for both of them. The older woman has met this young man. She kissed him once when she was drunk, like on the night she met him, and he now it turns out he works for her, and he's like, let's date, and she's like, you're 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye. This has been fun. I'm your boss now.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And then there's a classmate for the younger one who seems to really like her and stuff. So there's a little bit of romance that way, but it just, I don't know. It's just got an interesting, just dramatic vibe, but not too sad, not too, like, it's a little heartbreaking at moments when you see this girl and the struggle that she's going through. And even the older woman, when she realizes she's not going to have kids, because when you see a bit of her backstory, she always wanted to be a mom. That was her thing as a kid, but her mom pushed, no, women need a career. You have to have a career. You need a career. Don't focus on children. Don't give up your life like I did. You have to, go to school, get a career, and she's like, I'm not sorry that I did those things because I love my job. But I did always think children was going to be in there somewhere eventually. And now that she's 40, now her mother's changed her tune, right? Her mother's like, when am I going to have grandkids? And she's like, my brother has 2 kids.
Fucking
like, go
typical.
over there. And she's like,
typical.
Right? It's like, Mom, I literally asked for a baby doll when I was 4, and you gave me a little pink cash register. Like, you pushed this life that I've got, so back off, So it's just really good. It's really interesting to see the different, even the 2 teenage besties for the younger girl. They have, they each have very unique personalities and different perspectives on how to help their friend and what they should. They're very supportive of her, but they're also like the one who got the phone call from the boyfriend asking, she's like, he thinks she had an abortion. Like, should I tell him? And the other friend is like, hell no. Like, that is not your business. If he wants to know, he could call her. He knows her phone number. Like, he can call her if he wants to know how she is. And if she wants him to know that she's having a baby, she can figure it out.
He has enough money if he can just drop everything and go to Canada from Japan. Like, he's fine.
Supposedly it was always in the plan. He was supposed to be going to college in Canada all along.
Just forgot about it. Okay. Just slipped my mind.
Yeah, just absolutely slipped the old frontal cortex there.
So
yeah, likely tale.
Likely story.
So yeah, it's just good. It's just I like that the women are all very nuanced, which is nice when you're watching a drama that's focused on women.
Yeah, that's a woman-focused drama. I sure would hope so.
Right? So, yeah. It's good. How about you, Sky? What are you watching?
So I'll probably end up talking about a couple dramas that I've only watched a few episodes of, because if I talk about My Dearest extensively again, I'm going to just bore everyone out of their gourd. So I did, but I'll talk about that in my little bit. But so I've watched a few episodes now of a Chinese drama called Parallel World.
Ooh.
It's from this year. As far as, is it currently airing right now? According to Vicky, it is, but like, as far as, it's probably not, I'm not gonna say if it's on Yoku or not, because I don't know if it's like done airing in China, and Vicky's just slowly dropping it. You know how it goes, like that whole
Vicky likes to do that. Yeah.
But as far as like, there's a lot of episodes out on Viki so far. I don't think it's all out quite yet. It does have 38 episodes. So it is an adventure-y type genre. Since I'm only 3 episodes in, I'm not going to be able to tell you a lot about what is really going to happen. The trailer, though, looked really cool. Like, looks like some supernaturally different world things. So, parallel world. There you go. So, but it really centers around a desert. And essentially the main fella, who is played by Yu, which, in case you wonder who that is, he was in Guardian. He was one of those fellas. Not the glasses guy, the other one.
All right, Natalia, just
pushing
my flyaways down.
And she takes off her wedding ring.
Yeah. I don't wear one because my fingers swell too much. He's as I call a bit of a smoke show.
So his character, this will not be any giveaway at all. It's very obvious from the beginning. But there was a tragedy that happened in the desert. He was a desert guide once upon a time, and he had a team of people that would go in the desert with him. He's desert this, desert that, sandstorms, all that. It's dangerous. he had a serious girlfriend at the time, and he wanted to propose, and so him and all of his desert buddies, like, they got together and they made that happen for him. It was this very sweet thing. Guess didn't end so hot. Everyone died except for him. So
oh no.
So that was a couple years ago now, and so of course that he's kind of a broken person from that. So you got him, and then you have the lead chick, played by, I'm gonna guess Nai is the actress's name. You see from the very beginning, she's hanging from a tree in a noose. She looks dead. But then she comes back suddenly, and she doesn't know who she is. So that's interesting. And later on, she's just kind of like living in her van selling melons, and then she suddenly hires this guy to take her to go find something in the desert. Like, all this thing. So he, pretty much, she's like, I have a picture of your deceased was gonna be fiancé. Let's talk about this. Can we go into the desert and like kind of maybe go where she was, all this stuff. So, because he's been looking for the bodies, of course he hasn't found them yet. So
of course.
that's his big burden that he's been carrying, and he's been
can't show bodies.
His motivation.
Then they can't come back randomly.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So really the first 3 episodes is the shenanigans of them meeting, very much showing the fact that she can kick anybody's ass is really what the whole point of all this is. Like,
love it.
We love a good kick-ass lady.
Yeah.
There's even a point, pretty much, because, like I just said, the history of this guide fella, because he has all this guilt, and all the families of these deceased people, even back when the news broke and stuff, they all beat him up back then, and since he carries all this guilt, and as they're preparing to go on this thing, they're going through the town where all these families are, and so they're going to beat him up again, and he can't fight that well. So main girl pretty much overhears that that's going to happen and tries to warn the guy off, like, don't go to the restaurant, just, but no, because he's guilty person, no, he's gonna go anyway. So she's like, fine. So when they're eating, she's like, why are you here? Like, what? Well, so okay, fine, pay me money and I will be your bodyguard, because she's always working very hard, all these extra jobs and stuff, because she's just trying to survive, because she doesn't know who she is, she doesn't have money, like, she's just trying to exist, like, on a dime all the time. So she's like, fine, pay me, I'll be your bodyguard. No. So in walks all those families, and he's about to get whooped. And then suddenly he gets pushed a bit much, and then he stands up, he goes, okay, can you be my bodyguard? And so then, sure enough, so then she's like, let's all go outside. And so this gang of people, and, she's this tiny girl, big guys, and she's like,
I love it.
And so, like, one is gonna approach her, and she's like, no, all of you, let's go. Like, she wasn't.
All right. You're really, Sky, I gotta say, Sky, you're really selling this.
Yeah.
So, that's the type of stuff I'm like, okay, I'm in. I mean, I've checked some of the comments on MDL, like, some of them are like, oh, once you get past such and such episode, it kind of drags or whatever. Sometimes that kind of happens with adventure dramas. That's just, especially, you're going 38 episodes, like, what. But what I appreciated is even the first 3 episodes, it wasn't simply, hey, I'll hire you. Okay, it wasn't that simple. These 2 people, one of them's very broken and the other doesn't trust anybody. So there's a lot of shenanigans to get them okay with, like, hiring each other and stuff. And it was even a, let's meet at the crack of dawn type thing. And she's like, why? Oh, because. So she goes, does he show up? He does not, because he was proving a point, because he thought she was lying about something. It was this whole thing. So they're that way the whole time.
Love it.
So do they really have, like, they have a little bit of chemistry at the very, but that's, like, not the point. The point, like, he's missing his fiance that flew away. So, but as far as the trailer, it looks like there's like supernatural stuff involved and some creatures and things. So like, I think it'll get really cool. It's just I haven't been able to put that much time into it. So yeah, I'm watching it on Viki. I did not go track it down elsewhere. Let's see what MDL says. Says WeTV as well. That might be accurate. I don't know, but I was watching it on Viki.
Viki will definitely have better subs than WeTV.
Yeah.
So
it will. It will. It will. Yeah.
But pretty much right in the beginning of the first episode when you see her come back and stuff, and then there's kind of this like some other characters that you don't really know. It's like evidently it's based on a novel, and it pretty much, and it's also known as Western Jade Gate. It's this whole thing. So essentially she used to be in another world, like at the Jade Gate, and this gate is like a part of the desert, and it's this whole thing. So that's why I'm like, this is going to be a pretty cool show. So I'll have more to say about it later, but
you have intrigued me, madam.
I'm getting slight mummy vibes, by the way, but it's not really like, because whenever she like came back to life or whatever, she's like, you know, I had a bag, I had this camera with this picture in it, and then I had this like horn thing, you know, like horn cup goblet thing.
Okay.
And which is like she went and got it appraised, and it's like this priceless artifact thing. And she's like, I don't know what like she doesn't know anything. So
it sounds fun.
Yeah.
It sounds fun.
It does sound Sky.
Yeah.
It sounds very Sky, yeah.
Yes.
Well, then a lot of it is like, okay, you have to get your cars ready to go through the desert, and so you have to get all these supplies. And she's like, okay. So she's fine with that, but she has this broken down like van thing that she lives in. And so he's like, I really don't think that's gonna last in the desert. You're gonna get stuck. And she's like, nah, like it'll be fine. Yeah. So that he's right.
There was only one van. There was only one van, everyone.
It's not that. Well, I think what's funny is even in the description at MDL, like you kind of read through it, and then at the end, will the truth and their love prevail? I'm like, okay, it doesn't start off like that. It's not like romance, like right out of the gate. Like, come on.
Come on, MDL. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep, MDL.
Well, their love
if the
prevail.
writers really want it.
Yeah. I'm not saying it won't end up like that. I'm like, give me some build up, people. Don't just be like, will their love prevail? It's like,
well then, slow burn me in, okay? Like, nothing. We don't need to go right to it. Like, calm down.
And of course you're sitting there thinking, like, is she the reincarnation of the who knows? I don't know. I haven't gotten that far, okay? But whatever.
Well, sounds fun. It sounds fun.
How about you, Jessie?
So I'm picking a drama that I know Sky has watched.
I left it for you to talk about. Yay!
Thank you, because I don't have very many options. Because I did that thing where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch all the things," and then forgot that like I have a life
didn't watch any of the things.
and a job.
Yeah.
And that job like was in a
things.
area where it required me to be there all the time, and so I had,
so
like,
all the things was you going to work.
Yeah.
Like you did all the things, i.e. be employed. Got it.
Yeah. Basically.
Good for you.
But I did manage to watch the first 2 episodes, and at the time of us recording, there's only 2 episodes of this drama.
I have been checking, man. I have been checking.
It's The Escape of the Seven, which is the wildest drama. I'm sure, like, Penthouse and everything is, like, wilder, but, like, it's the same, writer, so it is a wild drama. We're only 2 episodes in, so we literally just got this setup of, like, the characters, because it's a very character-heavy show. There's a lot of main characters, 7 people, and they all have an integral part in this, so we're definitely in setup land in these first 2 episodes, but the first episode is an hour and a half long.
It feels like a movie.
It feels like a movie, but I literally blinked and it was done, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna What's wrong?
I just want to say, every time Natalia was going on about only friends being like the wildest, the whatever, I'm like, all these words could be the same words for Escape of the Seven, because it is
in a different
I feel like it's
a different way,
in very different directions.
But it's still unhinged.
Yeah.
Yes.
So unhinged.
It's so unhinged. The cast is phenomenal in this. It's so good. We, of course, had to watch it because of our love of Lee June. But
Lee June, my sweet baby.
Very sweet in this, but who knows? He's a little he
can do unhinged.
So. He is great.
He's just trying to live, but also might not
I feel
be
like
good,
his time
also,
is coming.
But man, he's so good.
He'll be bringing it. I'm sure he'll be bringing it.
So good. And you kind of don't see you see a lot of him, but you don't see a lot of his story. It's just
they haven't done his big story yet.
There's no kind of background. There's only little snippets, but he's still great in it. But it also stars Hwang Jung-um, who is phenomenal in this role. Okay, so I will admit that there's sometimes that Hwang Jung-um does that thing. It's an acting choice where it's very screechy and very over the top. It's an acting choice. I get it. And I've seen her do it before many times. And if there was ever a drama for her to do it, it would be this drama, except she doesn't do it in this drama. And her character is so unhinged that the fact that she's not acting like that takes it to another level. And it's you're sitting there going I am literally watching a thriller, because of the way that she is playing this role.
If it was just that character being that way, that would be enough to be thriller. That's it.
Yeah. And so, okay, so let me try to give you the setup of the show, which
tough. It is tough to explain right now,
because I don't want to have to sit here and tell you each of the stories and how they're starting to come together. But it's essentially about these 7 people who are, you start to realize that they are joined together because of different things. And so Jung-um's character is a woman who is is she the producer of dramas? I don't think she was the writer. I think she's just a producer of owner of a company. She needs to get this actress on her film or drama so she can continue on and get lots of money and stuff. And you find out that she had previously had a kid who she gave up for adoption, and so she's taken that kid back. It's really bizarre. She found the kid where she was living her really nice sweet life with very sweet family. You find out that the kid is very sick, and because of that her family kind of got poor because of it. So when the rich mother comes back into their lives and it's I just really want to spend the rest of her teen years with her, can you let me have the kid back? The parents agree. And she basically uses this kid as a pawn, literally, because it's starting to be a chess game up in here. That's basically the premise of it. But she uses her a pawn, and some of the things that she does is just off the wall crazy, because she flips from being super nice to super evil instantly. It's so crazy watching her go. So you have that, and then you have Lee Jun's character, who is his mom is owns a salon, and he's trying to get money for her, but he's running with a bad crowd and doing bad things, and he does this thing for this drama manager or someone in drama that you find out is tied to Jung-um's character. It's just it's so crazy, and I can't tell you everything about it, but I will say one thing that is a slight spoiler, but it is what sets up the story. So you see it at the very end of the second episode, but it is literally what the drama is based on, is that all these things happen, and the kid ends up going missing or like presumed dead, the daughter of the rich evil mom. And so like each of these people are tied to her in some way, and that's like where the story is taking you. It's like, why are they connected, who did what, and everybody could have done it. Like the only like good people are her adoptive parents essentially in the drama.
I love it.
Wild.
I can't wait to start it. I cannot wait to start.
Pure mahjong.
So I have a question for Jessie.
Okay.
From the trailers, did you watch the trailers?
I think I did, but I like when they came out, and probably like
okay, trailers, and I think it was the beginning of episode 1 as well, when there kind of shows them like at a pool party, everybody at a pool. It looks like they're on a freaking island in a light raft, and like all that setup. It looks like there's a survival game. And so I'm so confused with that.
We haven't gotten to it, and I think that might be part of it.
And that's not a spoiler. Like I said, that's like beginning of episode 1. They kind of have these flashes of things, and then it's gone, and then
it's very, very like impact. Like there's just like so much stuff going on. Like it needed that hour and a half for that first episode. Like it just really, there's just like so much going on. If you look at the posters also seem to be like there's like maybe one central person who is like controlling all these people, and we just haven't gotten to that yet because we've been in like setup land. But like everybody is terrible in this show, and they're all tied together in weird ways, and they're all just doing really crazy things. There is another girl who oh my god, the schoolmate of hers. I just keep remembering like storylines that happened in these first 2 episodes. It's just crazy. It's a pure mahjong. It's like Penthouse like writer. It's just
the whole time during the first 2 episodes, I just kept thinking. So as far as this kid, it all centers around this girl, and she's a senior, like starting to be a senior in high school, and she was 17. She was first in her class at her like little country school, okay, and then she gets put into this fancy school, and super sweet, but pretty much from then on, she's having a bad time, like the whole time she's having a bad
target, and you feel so bad for her because she like gets into the house, like when she like goes to like her real mom's house or her birth mom's house. And she's super rich. Like she comes from money because her grandfather is insanely rich, but like also she's made money from dramas. She's like pretty successful, right? So she has this like insane apartment, and like has done up her room so like lavishly, like that any like high school girl would think it's like a dream. And like, so it's like, she's like leading this poor girl on this entire time. And it just starts to all fall apart to the point where like, you start to realize she was going to use her just like as kind of like more of like trying to get money from like the grandfather. And then she kind of like shifted like her path, and then just starts using her for random things too. And it's just like, this poor girl is then also put in this really terrible school where all of the people are terrible, and like not in like they are bullies like in Glory, but like they're all just like terrible people, like like doing the most terrible things. Like it's just wild. It's a wild show, and I'm like so into it. Like I need more episodes now. I need to know what's going on with this show.
So I started watching the first episode kind of late at night, and so I was really tired. And so like I was midway through the first episode, and then little girl being the new kid in school, which I've experienced that, and she was having a moment, and it was bad really quick, and I was like, I'm shutting this off. I will revisit this when I have the emotional bandwidth to handle
it. Gets bad so quick.
I had to revisit that when I had more energy in my brain, because I was actually,
that's fair.
I was getting you have to be able to stay emotionally divorced from it enough to be entertained by it, because you cannot lose yourself in this show, because you will end up hurting. Like, you will hurt too bad. Like, you shouldn't be going in having an empathy moment. You should be going in, this is crazy and fun to watch. That's the mindset you need to be able to be in. So do not go in with feels. Not a good time to do that. If you're getting the feels, nope. Revisit it later.
Press pause. Press pause.
Rewind,
Find something else. Find something else for a little while. Yep.
If you feel like crying, do not pesco. Do not do that, because you will not be having a good. Because it just gets worse. Like, her moments get worse, so just don't do that to yourself. Don't see that as an actual person.
Keeps on, and there's just so many like parts that like play into like just ruining her in like most crazy way, and like you start to see all the characters and how they played a part in this specific. Like, I just, the art room scene is all I'm going to say. It's wild. It's so crazy. I'm like so here for everything in this drama.
So I'm gonna say only two more things about it. One thing was, so we said the word penthouse. So is it just the writer of the penthouse? Like, I don't know if it's the exact same like writer and directing team. What I do know is I went and rewatched the trailer.
Same team.
Okay, same team. So I rewatched the trailer for this for Escape of the Seven, and then I went and watched the Penthouse trailer, and it's so funny how like even the font and things are the same. Like, just the vibes.
I want you to know. I want you to know it was us.
It was so funny. Style, like, and just like, we have to use this exact same font. Like, I was just cracking up. Like, okay, guys, gotcha.
Also, because I feel like we did do like a first impressions on this. They are the duo that did The Last Empress as well. So if you remember The Last Empress and how crazy that was, this is also the same directing, screenwriting duo.
The Last Empress felt so different though, because you also had the fantasy element of it being the modern monarchy thing.
Yeah.
So like,
was it our modern monarchy episode? No.
Well, I don't think it necessarily was.
Yeah.
But like, it was a modern monarchy thing. Yeah. So like, since there was the fantasy element, which I mean, this is gonna, I don't know, whatever. But like,
this is like not intentional fantasy. It's like, it's fantastical in that it's a mahjong, but like,
they clearly have big expectations for it, because I did see that there's an intended sequel or second season or whatever for March.
I'm sure,
and like it's supposed to have like 17 episodes for this round, and so I was watching it on Viki.
Skipping out on the first season.
Viki or Cocoa. It's on both of those.
Yeah, so it's either like Viki Plus or Cocoa, whichever.
Cocoa normal.
Whichever side of that you're on.
Yeah.
Me, I have Viki Basic and Cocoa. Is how I do.
Okay, well, until the end of this month, I've got Viki Plus, so I could download those 6 episodes.
That's true. Oh my god, I'm just like so into it. I don't want to see more of Lee Jun's character and like see what he's doing and like how he plays, because I feel like he's going to be like the good character. He's just like down a hole. That's kind of how it is, but also he kind of like seems like maybe he just like he's just kind of like in that era of like kind of like he's just going to, he's not like terrible, but he's going to do whatever he needs to do things.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like with this that good is relative.
Is very
yeah. Is,
so
questionable.
What I want to say about Lee Jun's character is like, having seen him be I've seen him be magnificent in a lot of stuff, but Bulgasol, he was just such a good villain. Like,
he's
so
really good at
he made
Gab
that
Dog.
show worth watching.
He was like suave, unhinged. That's what that was. And then this, in Escape of the Seven, he's purposefully like very erratic in moments.
He's
like
erratic, and it's like he's also being used by people.
Right.
Pretty
He's
easily.
very helpless too. There's a lot of helplessness to him. So
and there's like the thing with his like parents and his like, or his mom, and then he's got siblings, and it's just like, so he does have a reason he's kind of doing stuff. It's just like maybe not the smartest of the bunch.
Right. He keeps on getting caught in things. And so it's just it's really cool. It's really cool to see him. Yeah. It's really cool to see like just the different levels of unhinged characters that he can do and how they're just
you need to like watch snippets
different.
of Gab Dong like with him, because like that's like even like an entirely different just June, like so
an
good.
Entirely different unhinged.
When I see people able to do this, I'm like, you're just so crazy. Like, it's so good. And you're just a normal, you're just a person. Like, you're not actually a psycho. You're just a guy.
Also, this is like a kid who started out as like an idol. Like, he did not start like wanting to go into like acting. And you're like, oh man, so
it just feels like, thank you. It's always Lee Jun taking us to the masterclass of psycho roles. Thank you, sir, for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
But it feels that way with Hwang Jung-am too. It really does. Like, thank you. Like, you're eating that role. Boom.
I mean, like I love you, June, but like I'm like now squarely in this drama for her because it's just so good. It's so creepy watching her. Like, she's just so unhinged.
Natalia,
but in this, like,
I want to highlight the grandpa character for you for a second because I think you typically love this actor.
Is it the guy with the wig?
Eyebrows?
Yeah.
Okay. It's because he reminds me of my dad.
Okay, so you know how he often is just so like cutesy wootsy wootsy?
Yeah, is he not?
Oh my goodness.
I'm excited. See, I'm like waiting. I'm waiting for there to be like 6 episodes out so I can have like a nice binge day of it. So
see,
that's why I haven't started it yet.
I would want to binge it, but I don't know if I could emotionally. Too many hours of this in a row, I think I would be an absolute mess. I really do. Because, like, again, you gotta be careful with that. Because it's hard.
Yeah.
So,
she knows.
Yeah. So, Jessie and I are watching that. Yeah, that's a thing.
We are. We're here. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Natalia.
I'm taking it in a totally different direction from this. I've been watching I guess you would call it a comedy, Chinese historical comedy. It's sort of comedy. It has comedic bits called Wrong Carriage, Right Groom. Great title. Premise I could 100% get behind. So basically, it starts out and there's these 2 women who are getting married to men they don't know. One is from like this really rich, noble family. And she's supposed to marry the sickly only son of this family down south. Okay? And because a fortune teller said, if the sickly son marries someone with her birthday, he's going to get better. Meanwhile, on the exact same day up north, the only daughter of a martial arts family is supposed to marry this general who has 2 wives who are already died. So she's like, I don't want to do this. This is bullshit. I don't want to do this. So both of these carriages take off at the same time. And they're wearing the same wedding dress, but different veils. It's raining, so they stop at this, like, shrine. And the 2 ladies are left by themselves. And they're just chatting. And they're like, oh, it really sucks that we're marrying these dudes that neither of us want to marry. But it is what it is. But then suddenly there's, like, talk that bandits are coming to attack this shrine. So they're like, oh shit, girls, we gotta go. So before anyone sees them, they put their veils back on, but they put the wrong veils on. So each of them ends up going to the wrong groom, realizing what has happened, but now they have to pretend to be the other person because of, we done fucked up. Like, this was a big mistake, but like, we're here now, and the wedding's already happened, because, like, you don't take the veil off till after the wedding's done.
Well, and like, in those types of settings, it's not even simply, like, even if they confess to, like, oops or whatever, it's not that simple. It's like, oh, no, I'm gonna go kill your family now or something. Like, it's always...
Right?
So, the first part of the show, you're taken with this, like, martial arts girl who's supposed to be this, like, who is supposed to be this well-educated, quiet, refined noblewoman, but is not that. And then you meet, like, you know, her groom, who immediately is like, who the fuck is this? Like, what the hell? Turns out, maybe not as sickly as everyone in his family thinks he is. Maybe has some ulterior motives to this, you know, thing he's been lying about for a while. And then, like, oh, maybe there's some infighting with the only other male heir, his cousin, of their rich mercantile family. Maybe something there. Yeah, and then meanwhile, you then send the other girl up to the north, where her husband's not even there. Like, he's off fighting the war.
So she gets married with him not there?
Yeah. So he's off, like, fighting the war, and she's like, well, this is bullshit. Like, I'm just gonna fucking go and pretend to be a man.
You know, when all else fails, just do what you gotta do, girlfriend.
Let me tell you, so, like, but the first part takes so long with, like, the first family, which is, like, so, like, it's just funny, because it's like, oh, she doesn't actually know how to read that well, and, like, she's supposed to be like, oh, she knows all about, like, you know, bookkeeping and stuff, and, like, her husband's help, who figures out that it's not her, like, in a day, is like, okay, like, I'm gonna, like, give you the wink, and that's when you have to say this, so, like, no one finds out that you're not who you say you are. And so it's like a whole, you know, and, like, the cousin is like, I don't think she's who she says she is, I gotta expose them. So then, but then suddenly it switches to this, like, so it's all, like, fun and games, and everyone's having a good time,
like, oh,
right?
ho,
ho. When I tell you, when it switched to, like, her pretending to be a man and joining the army as, like, a battlefield medic,
that's a bad choice. Bad choice.
Well, like, it's because she, like, befriends this doctor who, like, knows everyone, and he's like, you can be my apprentice. When I tell you, I was like, this is a different show. We're suddenly in, like, this tense wartime, like, but then suddenly shenanigans are happening there too, and I'm just like, what is going on? The show is on Viki. It is so much fun, though. Like, I'm genuinely enjoying it. It has 24 episodes, and I'm on episode 20.
Are they all out?
They're all out.
They're out.
They're all out. Nice. They weren't when I started watching it, which became
a thing.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating for old Natalia. But I've been, like, super enjoying it. It's definitely, like, leans heavier into the comedy than the average Chinese historical drama, but I will warn, it does get pretty bloody. Like, these, like, war scenes are pretty brutal. So I was just, which is why I was just so taken aback, because we were having a good time. Like, we were like, woohoo, like, what shenanigans are we gonna pull on the evil cousin? And then suddenly it was like stab wounds and, like, we're gonna starve out the other army, and I'm sitting here like,
wait, hold up.
Hold on, wait a second. Like, the horrors of war wasn't what I signed up for with this, like, identity. But no, it's really quite good. The guy playing, like, the sickly, in air quotes, the sickly groom, Auri Peng, is incredible. He's so much fun, and, like, because he has that sort of, like, you know, someone who, like, knows too much and is amused by everything that he knows? Mm-hmm. That's the character where he's just always like, 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 just, you know, sort of, like, having a great time. And then the woman who plays the other bride, the one who was supposed to be married to him, played by Baby K, is also just so delightful. Just, like, even as a man, she's just so polite, and it's just,
she's
like,
so polite even as a dude.
She's not like really getting how men are, which is part of the fun, because everyone's always like, wow, you're so beautiful for a man, like, you're such a soft, good-looking man. She's like, yeah, weird. Everyone always thought I looked like a girl.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. But anyway, I'm really enjoying it. It's on Viki. It's also on Youku, but I'm watching it on Viki. And it's super fun, and I think people should check it out.
Sounds
if you
fun.
like that sort of thing. Yeah. Amanda, you watching anything else?
I am. I started a new Weekender this weekend passed. So it literally just started at the time we're recording. There's only 2 episodes out. I've watched both of them. It is called Live Your Own Life, and it stars Yui. And she's playing an athlete again, which, you know, those of you who have been listening for a while will know that is my villain K-drama origin story. Is
listen to Amanda's last year.
She plays an athlete a lot.
She does.
And there are a lot of, like, anybody who remembers watching the Yoon Shi-yoon Weekender, there was a lot of, like, workout scenes with him where like they focus on sweaty. They do that for her. So equal opportunity.
Oh, that's nice. Equal opportunity.
Because she is a fitness instructor and she works in a gym. And when
I guess it works more in that sense than it did for Yoon Shi-yoon as he was playing a lawyer, but like we weren't complaining, you know, it was fine.
And she, so
they wanted to give us the
years ago, her dad disappeared, and instead of her mom, you know, raising everybody, she said, "Oh look, I have a daughter. Let's make her do everything."
Of course.
So. She has 3 sons and 1 daughter, and guess who does everything? That would be Yui, the daughter. When I tell you, I was about halfway through the first episode, and I was like, I don't think I can do this, because I hate everybody. I like 2 people in this drama, and one of them is the male lead's grandma, who has been kidnapped by his aunt and held in secret and kept drugged up all the time so that she can't escape.
Well, this is good.
Right? Okay, so this is the thing. I think I'm getting this cutesy, like, family, you know. No, there is a lot going on. A year ago, the male lead's parents died in an accident at work that caused the death of a bunch of people, and his cousin took the fall for it. Probably wasn't actually him, but like basically he went to jail so his father wouldn't have to, and he spent a year in prison. Turns out Yui was his personal trainer before he went up, and he clearly has a thing for her, and she maybe has a thing for him too. It's unclear. Like, he's been in jail for a year. Like, you know,
fair.
Okay. So
having a thing for Yui,
right? Okay, especially if all the time you spend with her is with her in little, like, you know, bra tops and yoga pants. Like, I mean, working out and getting glistening. Like, I would be attracted to. Like, I'm just saying.
That's how my husband fell for me.
So
kidding.
So, So then there's also. The male lead is not this guy who was in prison. It's his cousin. He's played by Ha Jun, who was in Missing 9 and Black Dog and stuff. And he's been in the States for a while. And basically, when Grandma went missing 3 years ago and nobody could find her, he mysteriously switched his like business focus at school, and like switched his focus at school from whatever he was doing, engineering or something, to business administration, because it's like Grandma went missing and his aunt and uncle took over the company after his parents had died and all this. He's like, no, I'm going to become a business like professional and go back and like revenge. So, and search for Grandma, because he wants to know where Grandma is, because he got a mysterious phone call about a year ago from Grandma saying, stay in the States, don't come back. And he's like, but Grandma's missing, presumed dead. And he's like, okay, well, I know Grandma's not dead, so I'm going back to Korea.
I'd go back too.
I know. And his cousin, like, initially you're sort of like, well, I mean, dude was in prison, so he must be bad. But then you realize that, no, he basically just took the fall for his dad, or maybe his mom, really, because she is clearly the evil mastermind. She is the one who knows where Grandma is. She's the one keeping her drugged. But Grandma is not a dumb bunny. Like, let me tell you, in the second episode, she faked taking her drugs. She faked swallowing her drugs. Then she drugged the energy drinks that she had and gave those to the guards.
Yeah, Grandma.
Well. Granny coming in clutch.
And she ran for it, and like the guy was all drugged and like came after her, and she was like, "Nah," threw like gravel in his face,
bitch.
and she ran off. And really, like, I'm living for Granny, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to stick with it because the Mac Jang level of it is a lot higher than what I was expecting it to be. But I love Granny so much.
You want the Granny cut. The Granny and Yui cut is what you want.
Basically. And when they're in the gym, there are so many amusing scenes with like the older people who are working there and their little drama, and they're like they get into each other's business, and like the first scene you see is like these two women going at it over this like hot instructor, and it's supposed to be my time with him and all this stuff, and they get into this big fight, and there's just this old lady on the elliptical, and she's like, I love coming to this gym, there's always so much to do and watch, and like it's just,
you know what, that would be me. I'd be like, listen, I hate working out, but
Grandma thinks that
she
may need to watch OnlyFriends then.
Yeah.
You're not wrong, Jen.
Don't watch Escape of the Seven because she might get a heart attack. But you could probably watch OnlyFriends.
I don't know. Depends on how weak that heart is. How cool Granny is about some stuff, you know?
Better get real cool real quick.
Real cool real quick, Granny.
Well, I'm not 100% certain, but I think it is the same Granny who in the second episode is walking Yui along, sees the male lead working out on his, treadmill or whatever. She's like, well, he's new and he is delightful. You should go date that. She's like, I can't date a customer. And she's like, nobody has to know. Go bang him. She's like,
go, Granny.
He's a cool grandma.
It's like, by the time I was your age, I'd had like 100 boyfriends. You got done. Get out there. Like,
yeah.
All right, so she's one of us.
Yeah. So,
okay. Cool.
So, rounding out the rest of the cast, there's a younger sister to the rich family who, evil aunt and uncle are like, oh yeah, she's in Paris, and the brother and cousin are like, okay, but she's not. She's homeless. She's living on the streets right now for reasons. So that's interesting. She keeps getting connected to one of Yui's brothers, who is just a mess. He's a piece of trash who, he's the next Steve Jobs. He's gonna be something. He's starting his own business. And in order to do well with business, I need to take out a $30,000 loan from a loan shark so I can buy a Benz brand car, a Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
That's
the popular car brand.
So,
yes.
Very popular.
But the loan shark knows that he's not going to get any money out of the kids, but he knows Yui's got a good job. So he expects her to
okay, personal trainer is an okay job.
She's
got a job.
Personal trainer to the stars kind of concept.
Yes,
like all rich
yeah.
people in their gym or something. So apparently it's a good job because she's paying everybody's bills. So her older brother got married. She bought all of the appliances. The job that's usually the parents. No, she did that.
Sorry, brother, you're not getting any of that.
Like, she is paying her other older brother.
An air fryer.
She's like,
that's all you need, man.
Exactly. She's like, I don't know, like 30. Yui is 35, so I don't know exactly how old the character is meant to be. But her other older brother is still in school. He's a perpetual student, and she is paying his tuition for him to be a perpetual student. And then she's paying the loan off for her.
Listener, we're all shaking our head in disgust.
Yes, the absolute disgust on all of our faces.
I literally
right
just
now.
ghost the entire family and be like, bye. I don't care.
And the oldest brother, I will say this for him. He doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. Like, he's in a marriage that sucks. Like, his wife is a piece of work. She moved them across town so that their daughter could be in a better school board so that she could get into college better. Okay, fine. But she bought a 2-bedroom apartment. That's not really a 2-bedroom apartment. It's like 1 bedroom plus a tiny closet spare room. She set the daughter up in the master, and the husband, wife, and son are sharing the closet space because she needs this space in order to, like, it's a problem. She's a problem. And, like, mom, there's just stuff going on there. So, I don't know. The whole premise of the show is live your own life, and it's supposed to be that Yui's character reaches her limit and moves on and is like, okay, no, I am not looking after my brothers that are adult, fully grown men. I'm not looking after my mom anymore. I'm going to go date the hot boy and have a life. So we'll see. Right now, it's a very enemies to lovers kind of situation with the male lead. He wants to work out early in the morning, but the gym doesn't open this early. So she happens to be in there, but she's like, but I can't let you in because we're not open. So he just stands there staring at her for an hour. And then he goes and tells the boss that he's going to, quit his membership if he can't come in and work at 5 a.m. And they're like, well, I guess we have to do what he says. I'm like, no, he could just go somewhere else, but whatever. So Yui is going to take the extra hours and be his personal trainer at 5 a.m. in the morning. So
yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah.
No.
Nah. It's good. We're all good here. Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And apparently the cousin's going to want to come back to, there's going to be a whole love triangle there, clearly. And, weekender stuff. But I don't know.
Just weekender things.
Just weekender things.
That'd be a good shirt. Just weekender things.
So, yeah, I halfway through the first episode, I was like, no. This has been very kombucha lady gif experience. I was like, no, maybe? No. Well, so by the time I hit the end of episode 2, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in it. So I feel like the first episode was very heavy on the setup. Like, we have to know how terrible her family is. But even in the second episode, they're still terrible, but not as terrible. Like, you see why she loves them. So, they're giving you a little something. They're starting the redemption arcs early. So, they have that going for them. So, how about you, Sky? What else are you watching?
So today I started, there's 2 different names to it. As far as on Viki, it's called CEO Doll Mart. On MDL,
oh my God, this is on my list. I'm so excited about
it's called Boss Doll Mart. So as far as like everyone going, what the heck is this name? Okay, for those of you who aren't learned in the K-pop ways, for some reason, the way they try to, if an idol does something, they'll put whatever word -DOL. So instead of the I of idol, they'll put a different word in front of it. So CEO Doll Mart means idols beating CEO of a supermarket. Like, that's the setup you're getting here. So
Okay.
as far as who is in this drama, Sky, well, let me tell you.
It's wild. It's wild, okay? It's absolutely insane. It's wild who's in this. You have no idea.
Do you happen to know Jumin from EXO?
I might.
He is one of the main characters in this drama. Do you happen?
Wait, who else? Who else?
Do
is
you
in
happen
it? I feel
to
like
know
there's someone else we know?
Hyungwon from Monsta X?
Jesse's
I do, as a matter of fact.
He's in it too. He's one of the main characters as well. So I have only watched pretty much nearly the first 2 episodes, which as of this recording, there was only 2 episodes out on Viki. Delightful, mindless show. Like, just
perfect.
The low-hanging fruit of a show, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like, why am I watching this? Because often when I watch shows similar to this show, when I watch a show for my idols, sometimes you're just watching your show for your idol. Like,
sometimes your standards just plummet. Yeah. And that's okay.
And you just revel in
that.
Not
everything you watch has to be perfect or even good.
Sometimes it can just be.
Yeah, just be.
But as far as this one, I felt like production value was pretty darn good. Pretty charming. Everyone's acting really well. So, like, I'm taking it for, like, pretty good, man. Yeah. So, and I say that as someone who watches some crummy idol stuff. So... but another, as far as the lead fella, is the actor Lee Shin Young, which he, in case you're like, who? Well, I'm gonna double check before I say this. I assumed, yeah, he was in the little North Korean group in Crash Landing on You. In case, like, if you were thinking, oh, the young kid, yeah, the young kid in that. He was in some other stuff too, like Rookie Cops.
Just One Bite is great, so...
How to Buy a Friend, he was the main guy, and one of the main guys in that. So, he's been around. And then the main chick is Choi Jung-woon. I've never seen her before, but I'm going to click on her just now. The Empire, a support role in The Empire. So that's cool. Essentially, I'm not even going to explain how, because that's like part of the fun. But the idols end up being owners of a supermarket. Like, they just do. They are a disbanded group. They've been disbanded for over 5 years. They have not talked to each other in 5 years. There was a tragedy, and they didn't talk to each other after that. So, yeah, just, they all have been kind of struggling in their various ways, and so now they're trying to figure out, do we want... Originally, it was going to be like, let's sell this thing, whatever. But then some of them were like, no, let's try to make a go of the supermarket life, man. It's like, I don't know.
Listen, it might be great. It might be great. We don't know.
And that was very much like, come on, man. So you kind of have, like, Lee Shin Young, his character is like, he was the leader of the group. He's been in construction these days. He's been doing, like, delivery jobs. So he kind of had some goals to eventually be an independent contractor, was eventually going to be his thing. So he's trying to kind of still be leader-ish a bit. And the guys are like, you're not the leader anymore, dude. Like, and Zhumin, his character is very, he wants to be the best cashier. And he's just like, he's from a Taekwondo family, and he just wants to get out from that, and he's just like, so he kind of starts dealing with, like, you know, old ladies trying to swindle him out of, like, just, he likes kind of arguing a little bit, trying to make sure he gets kick out of that. So Hyungwon, my favorite character in this entire shenanigan, he's like a live streamer fashion idol these days.
Incredible.
With all of less than 500 subscribers on YouTube.
No. You know what? That's fine.
We all start somewhere.
But that's been after 5 years of trying really hard. Poor guy. And so, you see him, like, pretty much, he, you know, with his latest fashion thing, he picked blue, and then he figured out that blue wasn't popular at the moment, and so he was just so hurt by that. And so now he's wearing red all the time, because red's the end thing. So they keep making fun of him for that. They don't even know why he's wearing red all the time. He's just wearing red all the time. So then you have kind of the other two. So you just have the idols in the group. One of them was in the countryside, and he was on a farm, so that's his shtick, and anyway, so as far as the lead girl, she has nothing to do with the idol life. She was a fan of a girl group, like, that was a whole thing, but as far as she just has a connection to this supermarket, like her family just has kind of had a history with this supermarket a little bit. She worked as part-timer for years at it, so she kind of has a past with it, and she doesn't want to see it go away. And she had run-ins with the main guy a couple times prior to, so destiny, that whole thing. So, but I just will say, production value, great. And even near the end, because I was like about 10 minutes, and they're kind of longer episodes, 50-ish minute episodes, which I was kind of amazed for that type of drama. By the end of near the end of the second episode, like they're trying to have this big closing sale. They were going to give it one go to make money before they tried to sell it off. But she figured out they were going to sell it, and she was upset, and she was in there, and she kind of caused a little bit of a stink. But then she watched them all, and each of the members was kind of doing a really good job of selling and being kind to people and stuff, and she saw that for a second, and she smiled, and she was like, they're actually really good at this job. So you can tell that, gonna eventually try to make a go of being idle supermarket people, like...
All right. Found family of supermarket people.
I will say,
we love to see it.
My two favorite parts so far have been Hyungwon's character. So before this, we're gonna do this one day of selling stuff, he comes in with colorful jumpsuits for everybody. Like, we are wearing these. If I'm here, we're going to look good. Like, that is what we're doing. So that was cracking me up. And then... So during this big sale thing, Jumin's character, being the cashier, there's this long line. There's only one cash register. And he was like, sorry you all have been waiting so much, so I'm going to give you all a sorry discount. But only to the person that can do cuter poses than me. And so he has all these old ladies doing these cute poses and shit. And then he's like, the grandma in the flower vest, you're just so cute. Yes, you will get 10% off. So, just this vibe, so fun, just a lovely mindless watch. I actually really appreciate it. So, it's gonna be 10 episodes. There's only 2 episodes out so far. I do think there'll be a couple that probably drop this week, eventually. So, love it. It is not a deep show, but...
That's okay.
They don't all have to be. You need something after watching the 7, right? You gotta...
But also, okay, I guess I should say this. It is obvious that someone was sabotaging the supermarket to begin with, and then there's a moment where this guy in a mask shows up right after the lights go out. They're trying to do a little bit of mystery thriller with it, because it's a K-drama, so, nothing simple. Yeah, and as far as you do have a little bit of tragedy stuff. So if you're highly, highly allergic to any of that, there is a little bit of that stuff in it. You have been warned. It is not simply jumpsuits and discounts. There is a little bit more going on. But the jumpsuits and discounts are very fun. Do you want to see Jumin being really silly? I have a show for you.
You're in for a treat, friend.
And there's also, whenever there was a scary moment, Hyungwon and Jumin holding each other just for an extended period of time because they're terrified. Yeah, that filled my heart with glee. This is fun. Yeah, I will watch this. Yeah.
Perfect.
How about you, Jessie?
So I started this Japanese drama called Ko-Japan, The Price of what? The Price of Wishes. Sorry, I was looking at the MDL app of it.
I was so interested in that. Yes, tell us about it.
So I just started it. I can't remember if it has all the episodes up on Viki yet. It just ended its run beginning of September. So it's like a new show just in general. But so it's based off of a movie. So if you've ever watched, I'm pretty sure it's Taiwanese, the movie The Code, it's based on that. I have never seen it, so I don't know if it follows it super closely. I'm sure the one central thing about the show is the same, and then like other story parts of it are different, but who knows. But essentially it's a thriller crime show about this guy who is a detective, and it's played by Sakaguchi Kentaro, who I know we've talked about this drama before. What is it called? It was the Little Contract Marriage J-drama, the Konen Tododoki Nihan wo, the one where he is like grumpy and he has the big house and he needs to like get married, and like you find out because it's like because the brother and the sister-in-law that,
he has a flame for his sister-in-law.
Yeah. So it's him.
Good job.
So he plays like a detective, and he is dating this girl who is also a police officer, and the show sets up that like she's, it's just like a regular cop. Like they didn't like go too deeply into it, so I don't know if she like always like takes over like crash investigations or just like general like because someone died at this crash she went out, whatever. So like his girlfriend goes to investigate this like crash that has happened with a pedestrian and a truck, and while she's there you see someone and another van like taking pictures of her or like of the scene, and it just looks a little like fishy that what happened at this like accident, and they were able to recover the memory card from the dash cam. So she gets that sent off to get like fixed up because it's damaged in the thing, in the crash or whatever. Later on in that night you see them together, the main male lead and the girlfriend, and they are having dinner, and it's very sweet. And it's the two of them, and you just are like, wow, things are really great for this little couple. I know what genre of show I'm in right now. So
this is not gonna last.
Things are almost
and then too good starts happening where she's pregnant, and you're like, oh my gosh. And then he's like, we should get engaged, and I was like, you're not long for this world. So here we go. Which so like they have all this excitement, so like he's like, okay, we're gonna get married and stuff, and then she gets a call to say that they've been able to recover what's on the memory card, and she needs to go in and figure out what's going on with it. So he takes her, he stays in the parking lot because they don't work in the same section, like they're different, like and they're different like police stations and stuff, or ranks or whatever police, I don't know what are police
division
ranks?
Squads, teams, whatever.
It's probably even different in Japan too. So I don't know. So she goes in to figure out what's going on with this thing, and then there's an accident with the elevator, and she just happens to be inside of it. So she ends up passing away, and he then gets sent this app, which like the app, if you do things like do the things that the app tells you to do, it'll grant like a wish for you. And so he's like, what is this, what's going on? And he's also kind of like warning her because he did see someone fishy that like looked like maybe they were the person who was messing with elevator, because he saw like a maintenance guy or whatever, or like someone who was obviously like had tools and stuff, and he's like trying to figure out what's going on. So he decides to kind of like investigate this app because of that reason. And so essentially the app tells the person to do stuff, and if they accomplish it in the certain amount of time, they will get like whatever wish they want to have granted. So his kind of like first thing is like to do some things, and then the wish is that he wants to hear her voice again. So it sends him a clip of audio or whatever from when she is at the doctor's finding out that she's pregnant. It just like, so like just has it, right? And so you start to like get fishy about this like app. Like, why is it a thing? Because you start to realize that like the app is tied to the the event that happened that she was looking into, the like truck hitting the pedestrian. And so like everything's like tied to this app, and he's like trying to figure out how she died, because he definitely doesn't think it's an accident. He knows that like it's something. And he's also trying to figure out what this app is, but the app is doing things that are like related to her and keeping her memory alive. So he's kind of like now drawn to this app to doing it. But other people are also using the app, and you find out those things. And like, so sometimes two people are like on the app, only one of them can accomplish the thing. So something happens to them if they don't accomplish the thing. So
interesting.
That's kind of like the basic setup of it. It's like turning into be a really cool like mystery, because of like, you know, figuring out what's going on, because you also like have this like side group who they're kind of this like just this duo, or like I think it's a duo. There might have been the third person, but they you find out that they have like picked up on these weird deaths that are happening, and this like weirdness that's going on, and like have kind of figured out this app, and they're trying to like figure out what's going on with it. And so they're kind of they're like investigating this, but like not officially. They're not like cops. They're kind of just like vigilante people who are like trying to figure out what's going on with this, and like, is it someone, you know, secretive, or you know, some millionaire or something even more. And they get in contact with the main male lead to try to get him to help them in their investigations.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
Sounds cool. It's on my list. Like when I saw it came up, I was like, okay, add to list, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
So I'm watching it on Viki.
So are all the episodes out?
I can't remember if all the episodes are out. I feel like they are.
I think it's not listed as current on MDL. I think it's listed as being done, but
yeah. So like the show just ended at the beginning of September, like in Japan. But I don't remember.
Well, it says there's 10 episodes currently on Viki. So.
Okay, then it's fully. Yeah, because like I'm watching another J-drama on Viki that is doing the airing thing, but it's still not airing in Japan, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, so definitely if you're like looking for a kind of like a mystery thriller, this is like one to pick up. Yeah, 100% on all 10 episodes. Also, if you like that guy from that Contract Mirror show, which is also
I do.
Viki.
Yep.
It's also right now, as we always do, we do a little speed round where we just do very quick versions of what else we been watching in the same order. So that would be me first. I finished My Lovely Liar. It was super fun. That's the one about the girl who can hear when anyone lies to her. And then she meets a fella who is changed his name and hiding out and never goes outside without a mask because he was accused of murdering his girlfriend and no one believes he didn't do it. But
he didn't do it.
She knows he didn't do it because she hears lies. I really, really enjoyed it. It had a pretty wild twist, which I will say nothing more about, that I didn't see coming, which is like,
again, that's saying something,
right? That's saying something. I was like, oh, okay, like we're doing this, okay. I really quite enjoy it. That's on Viki. I am watching a series of J-dramas on Viki. I don't know if they're the same ones Jessie's watching,
maybe.
But one is called The Date of Marriage, which is very cute. It's about
is it a contract marriage?
Girl who. No, actually, surprisingly, no. It's about a girl who she always thought she was going to get married like at a certain age and have kids by a certain age, but now she's getting to 30 and she's realized she gets dumped and she's all depressed and she's talking to her coworker about it. Her coworker is a few years younger than her, and he goes, "Well, if you don't have anyone to get married, we'll get married on your 30th birthday, you and me." And then so she's like, oh, he's just saying this to be nice. But then it's one of those shows that will then switch to like his point of view where he's like, I love this woman so much. I love this woman so much. I just want to marry her so bad. They're both just socially awkward and adorable. And
perfect.
Yeah, and then, but on the same exact vein as that, in title-wise, I'm also watching on Viki another J-drama. What is it? God, I see on MDL. It's always in the
Japanese,
alternate
Japanese title,
Yeah.
which is not like super helpful to someone going to Viki. It's called Marriage with Me. Seriously, and that one is a contract marriage.
I am watching that one.
Yeah. And it's very fun, where it's sort of a similar, like, she's in her mid-30s and she's like, I feel like I'm ready to get married, but like things haven't been working out because I'm so good at my job. And then she goes to this like speed dating thing, and there's this handsome younger man who like chats her up, and then later like is like, oh, like calls her up and is like, let's go out to lunch, and it's like, let's get married. And she's like,
whoa, hold up.
But then of course he's so charming that she sort of like just gets led along a fairy path into it, and then she's like, what is happening? He's like, it's not a real marriage, it's gonna be a contract thing. Loving it.
And he's obviously like super rich and like the owner of a company.
Yeah, super rich and handsome. From,
so
like,
you're in the middle of watching both of those dramas.
Two separate J-dramas of similar vibe. Speaking of J-dramas, I know Jessie's watching this one too. My personal weather.
Yes, I am.
So good.
What a show!
I love it.
What a show! Which follows
so what is the tone of that show? That's what I've been trying to figure.
Toxic but not toxic.
It's like weird. Time. It's like it forgets that like it shouldn't be toxic, and then and then it's like
a little toxic, and it like backs off from it. So it basically follows this like erotic mangaka who is not very popular. But when it was in college, this older college student who was graduating was like, hey, come live with me and do everything I say, and I'll pay all your bills and everything, so you can just make manga. But everything you say also is, they're essentially a married couple, okay? So like, and he's like, I don't understand, like, I hate this man so much. And like, the he's a weather forecaster, so he like watches him on like the news.
He's like a super popular one too, like everybody loves him,
like because he's so handsome, and like, so and he's just like, oh, this man, he's the worst, like, but I love him so much, but I hate him, but I love him. And it's just like, and meanwhile, like, the weatherman's like, yeah, I know that you love me, like, but like, you're just such a fucking weirdo that you can't admit it, so you have to be all dramatic about everything. And it's
definitely one of those like shows where like he said something in passing, so the weatherman was like, okay, we're not going to do that, and he's like, why is he always making me do this? And you're like, because you literally said something about it,
because you literally said you had a complaint, and he thinks that he's doing what you want. It's so good, like, but what keeps happening with it, which is so frustrating, it's one episode a week, and then since the Asian games are going on,
it keeps on getting
delayed because it'll be like canceled for the Asian games.
So it'll be like, it's not coming back till 14 days from now, and you're like,
I'm like,
it's 20-minute episodes. Come on,
I need it back now. What else am I watching? I'm watching My Lovely Boxer on Cocoa. Delightful. Love it. Incredible. Perfect. Okay, and then on iQIYI, we got a few things going down on iQIYI because something came back recently. A sequel, a spin-off of sorts. The newest spin-off in the Cutie Pie cinematic universe has been going on. I will say it's not as good as Cutie Pie.
Which, for Natalia, that's big news, in case you're unaware.
Yeah, I'm a bit passionate about Cutie Pie.
Cutie Pie is safe. That's what it means.
Yeah, Cutie Pie is safe. But it's pretty entertaining, and it's called Naughty Babe. I don't like the title. I think it's a weird title. And it's about basically like the best friends of the main couple who are also a couple. But we're in Thailand in the future where gay marriage has been legalized, and they've been engaged for many years. But the one guy is convinced that his boyfriend's been cheating, his fiance's been cheating on him. And so he's like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go to Switzerland, and and he'll never see me again. But then this is big news to his fiance, who has not, in fact, been cheating on him. And he's like, well, shit, I gotta fucking go stop him. But then he gets into a horrific car accident.
Oh.
On the way to the airport, a suspicious car accident.
Oh.
And then wakes up in the hospital with like no memory of his fiance, past when his fiance was like a 7-year-old kid when they first met. And then shenanigans ensue. When I tell you, you meet this like guy who was in the car accident's dad. They made him too fine, okay? This like he's distractingly.
Sometimes when they cast somebody like that, it's like, you're inappropriately attractive. You should not be here, right?
And it's like, not only is he like hot as hell, when he finds out that like his son might have been cheating on his fiance, he's like, that's not what we do in this family. Nice. He's like, I will not choose you. I will be choosing your fiance, you piece of shit. He's like, I didn't cheat on him. What are you dying about? But anyway, it's pretty saucy. It's a saucy little show. And it's
in case the name Naughty Babe did not give that.
Yeah, listen, it's I will say this, it's like it has a shorter runtime than Cutie Pie, so it's like packing more sauciness earlier in the show, and also it has like they're an established relationship thing, so it's like, you know, they did it in Cutie Pie, like we're moving past this, you know what I mean? But anyway, and then finally I'm also watching Kiseki, Dear to Me, a Taiwanese gay mafia situation.
How's that?
It's pretty gay. Like, it's also
I didn't think that was going to be the response. I wasn't asking the level of gayness. I assumed it was gay. I was meaning the mafia-ness, the plot.
What's the percentage of gay?
Like, it's like 98%. But it's also pretty questionable. Like, it's questionable. Like, the ages are questionable at the moment, but I think there's going to be a time jump. But like, at the moment, it's I don't know, man. Like, I don't like. I know that this main guy's 18, but he's still in high school. It's weird. But it's bringing in all of these like other Taiwanese BL actors as like side characters that'll just like show up and be hot in a towel in a bathhouse while all the mafiosos sauna together and chat about mafia shit. And it's just like, okay. And then it has like the villains of it, of like the evil mafia guys, because there's like the mafia guys you root for and their enemies are played by like the evil enemy mafia guys are played by the two leads from Make Our Days Count, which is delightful. But it is like, okay, it is questionable, but it is also incredibly entertaining. And so it's like, you're just like, okay, this is wrong, but also I cannot look away from what I'm watching. Like, it's that vibe to it, if you know what I mean. But very gay. Like, it's one of those where it's like, it's not statistically possible.
I love how that was the response to me asking how it was. It's very gay. Yes, I figured that part.
We got that part.
It's not statistically possible that everyone in this gang
would be
a
gay.
Homosexual.
I mean,
it's just not but yet.
You don't know the unwritten code of this gang is if you are found out to be straight, you are no longer in this gang.
You have to send in a resume.
You have to have references to prove that.
Have references that say you're gay before you
They
can
do a background check to make sure that you
mafia.
actually had a relationship.
Anyway, that's it. That's not it for me, but that's
all you want to talk about.
That's all I'm gonna go on record and saying I'm watching. You know what I mean? Like, there's some other questionable stuff, but we're gonna pretend that don't exist. It's on my MDL. I'm not hiding it. You can find it, but like,
We're not going to discuss it.
Move on. Yeah, we're just move on. Man, that's anything else you're watching? Quick.
I'm still watching The Jungle. I really like it. It's the guys are not as terrible as they suggest that they would be from how the show starts. So that's cute. It's a little more like Prince than some, there's I can't remember what the name of it was, but there was a GMM TV show with a bunch of roommates that were all banging each other, and it ended horribly because they were all terrible. And this had that vibe when it started, but no, it's more of like a Prince scenario where these, 5-ish guys are, I say ish because one of them was revealed to have an evil twin. And you're like, okay,
yes.
And so then now hangs out.
It's been a while. It's been a while for the evil twin trope.
It's delightful, and it's Nana, and he's delightful in it. Like he plays both roles lovely. So I am still enjoying that. I'm still watching To the Moon and Back. It ended a little while ago, but I'm only about half or 2/3 of the way through. But I still love it. Like it's just. It's got the long episodes. It's like a Thai drama with the really long, like hour and a half episodes. So you have to find the time to sit down and, do the thing. Haven't quite finished today's webtoon yet, but I still love that. I did just start Unpredictable Family. It's a daily, it's a FOSS daily kind of situation thing happening. It's you think that maybe it's going to be, and then it's so much more, and you're like, whoa, okay. So I won't, I'll probably talk more about that because there's 120 episodes and I'm only 2 in, so see you next month. And Love Yourself, a C-drama. I started that. It's like for 30-something women who are best friends, who support each other through their ups and downs and loves and whatnots. One of them's a single mom whose ex is a rock star, and like they kind of still sort of on and again, off again. He talks about how she's the love of his life all the time, and will she be able to move on? Another one is a big CEO in a company, and well, not CEO, but like she has a high-paying job in a company, and she used to years ago, like 10 years ago or 8 years ago or something, she was having an affair with her boss, who was divorced. Like, there was nothing wrong with it, right? But then something happened with his wife, and he decided he had to go back to take care of her or look after her or whatever. She's like, but you're divorced. And it made her feel very much like she was the other woman. And they haven't seen each other in 8 years. And now he's been transferred back to their office. So that's fun. And then there's one who her dad is like trying to hook her up, like get her married to a rich guy, but like they have this great relationship that like her and her dad going on these, dinner dates to meet other families and stuff. And he's got a real like gangster new money kind of vibe to him. So like I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but clearly he's trying to hook her up with a respectable family to like give her a respectable name sort of situation. And then there's another one who produces like reality love series and has a terrible on again, off again currently ex-boyfriend that her friends are trying to make her not go back to. And of course this like handsome single man who runs a company shows up, and her boss wants her to get him on the show. So that's obviously going somewhere there. So it's just nice right now. Like I like the women's connection with each other. The one who is a single mom is also a fitness instructor in a women's boxing gym. So that's where they all hang out all the time. And they'll go out to the bar for drinks, but like a lot of the scenes are them punching each other to get aggression out and like on the treadmills and stuff, like just hanging out, chatting about life while they're working out at the gym. So it's kind of a different vibe for something like that, which is nice. I like it. So, and that's it for me.
Fun.
So I finished the first season of My Dearest. I really liked that. I figured I would bring it up again. The second season starts this coming week, so I am excited.
Nice.
Just to kind of bring back from last episode, whenever. I finished the entire One More Happy Ending. That is not what I meant to say. So someday or one day. Too many things with one in it. I'm sorry. Someday or one day. I watched the rest of it. Really, really enjoyed it. I will talk more about that later. I also watched the movie. Rented it on Viki. So that is on an established platform. Thank you very much. Do not go in thinking that you can just go watch the movie and understand what's going on. That's not gonna probably happen for you. So, just know that. I watched a little bit of The Scholar Who Walks the Night. I will see if I continue that or not. I watched a handful of the episodes a few weeks back of it. You know, like, as far as I got the vibe, I'm like, this is what we're doing. Am I having fun this many episodes in? I do not know. Sometimes it's like, you want to see, like, okay, let's get the, how does this work? How does the vampire thing work here? Who's doing what? How do we get to be vampire? Okay. And then it's like, okay, this is the vibe. I don't know if I will keep dedicating too much time. It was on my 12 for 12 challenge thing, so that's why I was trying to get it going. There's just so many other things and so many new things right now that, like, there's probably it's probably gonna suffer from that. I also, so as I said, I finally finished One More Happy Ending. I had to, like, go back and rewatch a lot of it again. Because I do that to myself. I'm going to, this year, okay, for the rest of the year, I will continue my resolution to, I am fine putting some things on hold, but I should not expect that I can just pick that sucker right back up.
Yeah.
I might as well just, I need, like, a soft drop. You know what? I need a separate list that is like, I should just drop this right now, knowing that I want to pick it up again, but knowing that when I do that, I just have to start over. Or mostly start over. So, like, that's One More Happy Ending. I remembered most of it, but in order to completely emotionally connect with the end of it, I had to go back and rewatch so much. Which it's a really enjoyable show, so it's fine. But as far as the amount of time I had to dedicate to rewatch it.
Yeah.
So, finished it. Enjoyed it. Great. Lovely. I really didn't have that many episodes left. I should have just finished it when I was watching it. That's what I usually think whenever I do that. And then, yeah, I will not talk about the rest of it that I cannot talk about.
Sure.
So how about you, Jessie?
Oh, it's not a lot. We talked about, like, a couple of dramas that I've been watching. I also watched the little, like, short drama Kiss Goblin, which is about a goblin who wants to become human, and he has to, like, kiss a certain amount of women to, like, become human.
It's not as weird. It's not as weird as it sounds. It's not as weird.
The, like, thing is that, like, every time he kisses someone, he gets their emotions. So it's essentially, like, throughout this, he's gaining the emotions of a human, and to make him into a human. And he meets a girl, and then he's like, "Oh, I like you." It's cute. It was fine. It was a little drama. It was on Viki. I also just, like, today watched this family drama. It's a little messy. Like, the couples are a little messy in it, but it has some, like, cute kids. Like, one of the kids is, like, 3 and the other one's 5. Skiz family.
They're 5.
Yes. Season 3 or whatever of Skiz Family is out, so I watched that. I'm counting that as a drama because it's a drama. It's a full-on drama. The grandparents are away at a water park, and so we have some new characters. If you don't know,
I just fucking realized what you're talking about. Oh my god.
Did you get the Foy?
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed. I thought we were just making a fun Foy reference. I'm dumb. Okay. Move on.
But every year, Stray Kids does like a Chuseok like special where they play a family and they all have characters and they're like some of them are married. There's like the aunts and uncles, but it's like they're all flirts and they already all have their like people they flirt with the most, and they forget about that real quick. They're not that great with improv, and it just gets messy. But it's hilarious. It's a lot of fun. So the part 1 just came out today, and I watched that.
It's
and then like everything else.
Literally was the first thing I watched when I woke up this morning.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. It's like also hilarious because like Felix, like you can tell he like forgets that he's actively supposed to be like a character in the show. He's 3 and he's a character, and he just starts to like watch people do stuff, and then it's like he like reacts like he's watching a show, and then like he's like, oh yeah. Well, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to. I'm still being recorded. But that's it on like dramas that I can talk about, and also like things that are Asian, because I've been in spooky season, haunted and horror movie land, and not Asian horror. Well, it is what it is.
Hopefully, maybe people listen out there got their next drama they're gonna check out. So we hope that we helped you with that, perhaps. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with a beginning of spooky month. So we're going to be having a hit list episode all about spooky time. So look forward to that. Anyway, thank you for listening. You can listen to us wherever podcasts can be found. You can, of course, go to our website, certifiednoonas.com, for links and time codes and everything we talk about. And also, you can listen to all the episodes there, too. And you can also listen to them all on our YouTube channel, where we do live streams. It's great. It's a good time.
And if live streams like Roll for Drama.
Yeah.
Like Roll for Drama, which is coming back very soon as well. Where if you're unfamiliar about what Roll for Drama is, we take some dice and we roll the dice, and the dice decide the cast, plot, and elements of a drama that doesn't exist.
The dice are really gay. They're like, not like...
Okay, listen, for anyone out there, it just got delivered today. I ordered 5 new sets of dice. So I cannot be accused of loading some dice.
We're not accusing you. We're just saying.
So the current dice we have may have been possessed by the spirit of BL dramas, but I have 5 whole new sets, so we don't know. But just it being in my presence may just do that.
Anyway,
there's just enough gay in here, like it just collectively.
It just pushes
on
it out.
September 30th, we will be having another live stream of that.
Yes, another Roll for Drama, and we hope that everyone can come and help us make the best new drama that doesn't exist, which is it's so much fun. If you've never been to one, it's so much fun. And anyway, it has terrible graphics. It's got it all. We have a good time. And if you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join the Certified Fan Family. There are fan family web. They're great. They keep the lights on and all that jazz. We have extra little mini episodes, extras, and of course we have a movie night every month, and it's super fun. Anyway, thank you for listening. We'll hit you on the flip side, and COVID cases be up, so please wear a mask, use hand sanitizer, wash your hands, and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.